Hi, Advanced Writing Peeps. So today we're going to look at tools 34 and 35. We're going to spend today on those tools and next week as well. These, I think, are some of the most fun tools. I hope you have fun with these exercises. And they also just happen to be some of the most effective tools we have as writers. And to learn to use these tools is to learn to be a professional an effective writer. So what are these tools? Well, they come from the film industry. Well, actually, writers used them before filmmakers discovered them, before there was a film industry. But we're using the terminology that has emerged out of the film industry. So we're thinking about writing from camera angles, using camera shots to focus our writing, to guide our writing. So we're going to write from what we see. Remember, writing's an act of perception first and foremost, and we're moving back from that hearing mode to that seeing mode with this tool. So writing as an act of perception, we're going to write what we see, but in order to do that, we have to take control of our singing. And what most up-and-coming writers don't know is how to do this. They don't know how to, if you will, take control of what they're seeing in their mind and redirect that inner eye. So we're going to focus on 5 main camera shots. Roy Peter Clark focuses on these in Tool 34. The links provided under the class check-in give you a more in-depth look from the film industry's perspective on different camera shots and different angles. And you should read through these. You should study the exemplary pictures and scenes at these in these links, and think about how could I adapt? Where could I, in my writing, just take a bit to look through, skim through, and review your 5 short essays, and look at the places where you were depicting scenes and telling stories, and stop and ask yourself, now, where could I have interjected this kind of angle or this kind of shot? And it would have been more effective to do that. It would have given me something more precise to describe, to say. Remember, too, how we talked about curiosity is what we need, not imagination. So thinking curiously like, I wonder what this would look like from this direction or from this angle. So the 5 tools, the 5 particular shots that we're going to focus on, and you're going to do 6 portfolio exercises today. I will try to wind this up quickly so you can get straight into those 6 portfolio exercises. So other than reading tools 34 and 35 and Roy Peter Clark, these 6 portfolio exercises will conclude your work for today's class. So we have what we call the establishing shot. And this is a shot, for example, in terms of writing, it creates setting, it reveals setting. And so it's a distance shot, it can be a wide angle shot. It's taking a lot into the lens. It tells when and where the action is happening. The when is important if it's a period piece in another time, or where in another place. So it answers the question when and where, and it shows us where the characters that we're focusing are located. That's an establishing shot. The second kind of shot is a mid shot or a middle distance shot. This is a shot where we move in closer, and sometimes cinematographers talk about it in terms of a waist-up shot, or it can be a full body shot. It can also be a mid-distance shot. The point of a middle distance shot, it's the most common angle used in filmmaking. And the point of it is that it reveals relationship. So if an establishing shot reveals context, setting, location, a mid-distance shot reveals characters in relationship with each other, characters in relationship to that location, characters in relationship to an object. Sometimes it shows us a character's response, a reaction to something in that full body or waist up shot. Third, we have the close-up. So a close-up is moving in. So notice how with establishing shot, we start at a distance and our lens is wide. So we're taking in a lot of this external detail. With the mid-distance shot, we're going in a little more. With the close-up, we're focusing now on the person's head. It's mainly a head shot. Or you can do a close-up of an object. Like a piano or a violin or an empty car with the door, the driver's side door open, and you can zoom in on that. And I'm using camera language, but we do this in writing and this thinking, picturing things in this way, and then you just write what you picture. Okay, you don't have to kind of come up with those details. They're already there in your mind when you learn how to think this way and use that inner eye to focus and see this way. So that's a close-up. And we use a close-up to reveal people's emotions, personality. Close-ups give us, reveal the external, show us the external evidence of internal states. So when two people, we go from a middle distance shot, when two people are interacting, perhaps they're having an argument, perhaps it's a moment where the lights are going on for both of them. They're connecting dots about how they feel for each other, that kind of shot. And then we move into a close-up where we focus on one character, on one object, on one thing. And we just follow the camera lens as it moves in on that, and we write what we see as we move in on that face. And in that sense, it reveals the emotion, like the response of one character or what's going on. You see the wheels turning in that character's mind. And then our fourth shot is an extreme close-up. So this goes straight in, it zooms in like on the eyes, on maybe the line of the mouth, like, okay, that communicates something. We can use an extreme close-up or a super close-up to focus in on an object. Now, when we move in to this kind of nearness to our object, to our character, we're focusing on a particular part of the face, a particular part of the body, maybe just their hands, their fingers are tapping nervously on the desk, or an object like a ring on that finger, okay? Or a earring in the ear, and there's something about that earring that reveals something about the character. So we use this extreme close-up. We can use it symbolically, but this is always like clues to what's really going on beneath the surface of things. Now, you should already be seeing that once we start thinking and looking, like when you're in, I guess you're not going to be in crowds right away, but study it, like maybe if you have younger siblings or something, use it. Look at some news videos and watch people's reactions and focus on the details. So in your mind, do a super close-up of that person's mouth, okay? You can zoom in with your screen and use your screen perhaps to focus on, to help you see these things in closer detail. But it is something that you want to practice, that zooming out and zooming in. Oh, I forgot the fifth and final shot, which is the aerial view. And this is a wonderful shot, and normally blooming, budding writers don't think about this much at all. But this is where you, in your mind, okay, you have this picture, you're looking at something. You might be looking out the window, like I'm looking over there at my garden, which I can see behind the laptop screen. And as I look at it in my mind's eye, I zoom upwards until I'm looking down on it as though I were a cloud floating above there. And what would my garden look like? My bougainvillea is just in beautiful bloom, but what would that look like from above, looking down on it? It would give me an entirely different view. There would be details that would surface that I wouldn't see any other way. So that's an aerial view, and an aerial view is a very important shot. It's a very important tool. All 5 of these are important tools for as you're in a situation when you're writing, if you're writing and it's a memory, okay, a personal experience. Well, stop a minute. At that time and place where you were having that experience, now just in your mind's eye, put yourself there. Now, if you were a filmmaker filming it, what would the establishing shot capture? What do you remember? Close your eyes. Look around you. That scene. Perhaps it's an anecdote from one of your previous essays. So what would, if you were writing it and beginning with an establishing shot, what would come into that picture that isn't currently in your essay? And then try a middle distance shot of yourself in the situation, of another person, of move in, of you, and maybe you're remembering an argument with a parent, or you were with a boyfriend or a girlfriend. So think about how you two were standing or how you were positioned in relation to each other. Think about what kind of details, what's captured in that picture mentally that you're seeing in your brain. And then also then move in and do the close-up and the super close-up. And then finally, do the aerial view. Shoot yourself up above and look down on the 2 of you in that discussion, in that place, whether it be the kitchen of your home or walking in a park or something like that. What would it look like from the aerial view? A man and a woman, right? And how were you walking? Side by side? One of you was ahead of the other, one was lagging behind. But capture those details. What would it look like looking down from the top? So the important thing about an aerial view, this is very important as a writer, an aerial view always communicates objectivity. So the more distant you are from what you're writing, right, the fewer details you can see. So those details shouldn't come up until you zoom in to a different angle, a different shot. You're using a different kind of shot. The more distant you are, the more objective your tone is going to be, the more objective and detached the reader is going to hear your voice as they read your writing. So these are the 5 shots. You're going to go through the PowerPoint. You're going to do an exercise where you're going to describe each shot as precisely as possible. You're going to go move from the outer edges of the frame of the shot, move in, move from the bottom up, move from the top down, start in the middle and move out. Doesn't matter, okay? But capture everything that is in that picture frame, okay? And as the picture frames move in from a establishing shot to a middle distance shot to a close-up, a super close-up, you should be giving more precise detail, naming objects, seeing things that, you know, from out here you wouldn't see. And then the aerial shot, of course, you're going to move out, and there are many things you're not going to see. But what is it that you see that you could only see if you were floating around in that cloud looking down on the scene below you? Okay, have fun with this, guys, and we'll see you on Monday.